So welcome everybody to the iPHA Q&A with PHI. Today we are talking about the tools, so PHPP, designPH, bim2PH, and others. And Jan, my colleague Jan Steiger, will do the presentation, and we're already also supported by Dragos Arnautu and Aurelia Lippolis, who you can all see down there waving at you, and David Edwards. So next slide, please, Jan. So a quick look, as always, quick look at our agenda. We will start with the introduction, the one I'm doing right now. Then we will talk, or listen to a talk rather, about the PHPP, designPH, and bim2PH and other tools. And then, as always, we will have time for your questions and and we will answer them. We are aiming for 1 hour. The session will run for approximately 1 hour and is worth 1 further education credit point. You can see the code in red here if you want to note it down to use it for recertification. Next slide, please, Jan. During the webinar, I think a lot of you already have been in one of those, but during the webinar, you can ask your questions in the chat box to your right, and we will collect them. My colleague Francesca is also in the chat and will mark them as questions if they're not marked as such, and we will get to them after the presentation so we don't ruin the flow of the presentation. Please be aware that the Q&A is being recorded, and we will send out a replay link after the event. Okay, next slide. Oh, and yeah, the iPHA team, I haven't introduced myself. My name is Karl Halbach, and my colleague George Azar, together we run, together with also Francesca Rover, who is not on the pic yet, but on the slide yet, we run the International Passive House Association, and you can contact us at this email or visit our website. All right, and I think that was the last slide for the introduction, right, Jan? Oh, there's also a slide about you. Yeah, Jan Steiger, my colleague Jan Steiger from the Passive House Institute. He is the head of tools development. He is a member of the board of directors and a senior scientist at the Passive House Institute. He became inspired by this Passive House standard in 2004, working in Northern Italy as a project manager on different Passive House projects. And as of 2011, Jan has worked with the Passive House Institute, where he leads the development of PHPP and is involved in projects such as Eurofit, Build-to-Spec, and Outfit. Okay, I think we can start now.
Thanks, Carl. Yeah, warm welcome from my side. As you can see, this is my 10th year at the Passive House Institute, so I'm happy to give you an overview of our activities in our section on the tools development. PHPP, designPH, bim2PH, and whatever other tools. I'll just give you a short overview. So this is the Passive House Institute. You may have seen this diagram already. We are the orange bunch on the very left here, Passive House tools. Yeah, and Passive House tools, so these are our main tools we offer currently. You can see PHPP, the Passive House planning package. I trust that most of you are familiar with it. You can see designPH. I also guess that most of you already know that. You can see bim2PH. Not sure if everyone has heard of that one. You can see designPH, a very new development. And then there's also dynbil. I'm not sure if many of you have heard of that, but that's our dynamic simulation tool, which was developed by Mr. Feist some decades back, but we still use it to kind of further develop PHPP and compare the results. And then there's a lot of tools, many of them listed here. Some of you may know. You can download them from our webpage, but there's other new tools which I'm going to present shortly later on. Okay. Let me first talk about the availability of the tools, our reseller system, just to give you a short idea of how we do that. So you know that we usually develop the PHPP in German. Then we translate it to English, sometimes also to Spanish. And these developments we also then give out to others, either to resellers who then resell the PHPP licenses. So they offer and promote PHPP and designPH in their countries. Or we give it out to translators who will then translate the PHPP in other languages, such as French, Italian, Bulgarian, Chinese, whatever. We'll have a look at that later on. And then do the same, offer and promote PHPP and designPH in their countries. Working like this, we are able to cover kind of a wide range of geographic locations and get the support from the resellers in kind of promoting not only the calculation tools, but also the PHI principles locally. Currently only offered by PHI Institute is bim2PH. We're still kind of struggling with some issues here, so we don't want to offer it for reselling. And the same is for District PH. That's only currently we offer to be sold, and we only sell it together with a training because it's a bit more sophisticated. Okay. Next, so this is where we distribute the PHPP, where we have resellers. As you can see, we cover a few countries. We're happy about that. So we have PHPP resellers in more than 40 nations. PHPP has been translated in more than 20 languages. PHPP 9 in the meantime into 17 languages, as you can see here. So we're quite proud of that, and yeah, we are happy to provide many people around the world with this reliable design tool. As you can see here, designPH has not been translated in that many languages. This is due to the fact that SketchUp itself hasn't been translated or isn't offered in so many languages. There are still some to go for, but this is the current status. So all the translations of PHPP on the left side, with the NFIT retrofit plan on the one column more to the right, designPH, and then we have some, let's say, promotion materials. This is something we also want to kind of start in offering to our partners to promote PHPP, designPH, and other tools in their countries so they can translate it. Yeah, this is this. So let's come to the main tool, the Passive House Planning Package, PHPP. You see the cover picture of version 9. You all know probably that PHPP is this design and optimization tool, not only a calculation tool, but also a design tool in Excel, in the Excel format. And it comes with this big manual, which you can see here on the slide. And yeah, it's the international verification tool for passive house buildings and NFIT retrofit. Let's not forget this. In dynamic simulations, this verification isn't available, so this is only in PHPP. Of first mention here, there's also designPH as the 3D data entry tool for PHPP. You all know the results that you can get out of PHPP, the annual heating demand, the maximum heating load, the same for the cooling and the frequency of overheating, and also frequency of excessively high humidity. This is what we have implemented into PHPP 9. And you also receive information about the primary energy demands on the one side for the old concept of the primary energy with primary energy factors, and the PER demand, the primary energy renewable, according to the concept we have developed in 2015 and 16. So this is what you will receive additionally to the estimation of annual renewable energy gains that you can also calculate or quite precisely estimate with the PHPP. Many of you will be able to extract more information from the PHPP but these are the main results which are relevant for the verification. Also one part, let me mention this specifically because we think it's important, is this NFIT retrofit plan. There you can enter stepwise renovations and illustrate the improvement of the efficiency of the building, as you can see on the left side here. Something which we think is really, really important to get done. The building stock in Europe wastes so much energy, emits so much CO2, so we need to work on that, even if we do it step by step. Therefore, this tool, in order to talk to your building owner or investor and show them how you can improve this situation. Additionally, this online certification platform where you can document all these steps. This is also something that is available via PHPP or the certification. You all know that the results of PHPP are very reliable, even though it's a calculation on a monthly basis, nothing on an hourly basis like in dynamic simulations, but the results have been compared to these various monitoring projects and have proved to be very, very good. So there was no detected performance gap between the design of the buildings and the consumption, which was monitored later on. So this is why we think PHPP is such an ideal tool for designing energy efficient buildings, such as passive houses, NZEBs, net zeros, whatever's. It's simple, it's accurate. And you may also know that we have to prove that, we have also run through a validation according to the ASHRAE 140 standard in early 2019. And as you can see here, the results of this validation were also very good. I'm not sure how many test cases they have. I think it was something like 40 or 50. And you can see the green band is, so to speak, the bandwidth of where the results can happen. And PHPP, the red line, is also always kind of very, very good in the middle of all these results of the dynamic calculations, except for this one case. So planning with PHPP is a very reliable and trustworthy thing to work with. Okay. Okay, let's talk about PHPP 10, something we have been doing for a while now. Some upcoming features, just to give you a taste. So we will prepare some auxiliary tools, like a room schedule, like a progress tool, enhanced U-value calculations, a lambda declare tool, just to mention some. There will be additional calculations and entries, for instance, to compare the energy balance calculation with monitoring results, or to evaluate the building if it comes to summer comfort. So some stress testing will be implemented. Then we will have additional components or component features such as split systems, VRF systems, heat pumps. Then we further develop the building and component evaluation. For instance, the ground calculation was a bit adjusted, especially for very warm climates. And some of you may heard of project-specific PHI requirements when the occupancy of the building is very dense, and then there will be some additional calculations to account for that. Then there will be additional parameters for variance and thereby also additional features for the NFIT retrofit plan, the so-called ERP. I think that renewable energies you can also then use as parameters, just to mention some. And then there will be compatibility for the Southern Hemisphere. And then there will be an online format, something, or these two things surely have been asked a lot for in the last years. So we are happy that we kind of almost through with the development and currently are testing that and hope that we can release this soon. Yeah, that was PHPP. More questions we can surely answer later. Now there's designPH. I guess very much that most of you know it, but who doesn't? This is how designPH looks like, very red, very nicely. In principle, it's a SketchUp plugin where you can kind of easily sketch your building envelope in 3D, add windows, add qualities for walls, roofs, and floor, and so on. You can add thermal bridges, and then you get a result of that already in designPH. You get the annual heating demand, and then you can optimize the building if you want to, or you can then export the data to PHPP. So any entry that is required for the building envelope, geometry, or qualities is already completed. In the meantime, also ventilation properties. Yeah, we are also working on edu and demo versions, and designPH doesn't come with a book as does PHPP, but with an online manual. And the web page contains very useful information, but this is something we're currently working on in order to improve, update, and improve it. Something to be expected in the next time. Recent developments have been bug fixes and the compatibility to SketchUp 21. Many of you may have noticed the update. That took us a while. And currently in testing is the IP version of designPH 2. So we hope that this can be released soon. And then there's also a component update. And of course, we want to further develop the tool. So next issues to be addressed will be renewable energy systems like PV and solar thermal, more ventilation features, cooling, and overheating probably to be implemented. So this is our rough schedule for the next months or years. Yeah, then let's come to bim2PH. There was a question in our forum recently why we didn't have something like designPH for BIM tools. Well, we don't have that because it's way too much effort to program into each and every BIM tool which is out there, such a plugin. But we have an interface for BIM tools at least. How does it work? I'll skip that. So bim2PH offers templates, project templates that already contain all the parameters which are needed for a PHPP calculation, because many of the BIM tools, they don't understand, let's say, energy efficiency or high energy efficiency considerations. An example would be a glazing C. They don't know that. If they don't know that, you cannot export this. And with these project templates, you can implement these parameters into the BIM tools and then can give them a name, a figure, or something like that. And then you can export it. This is the way we work here. And because this is much easier than kind of programming plugins into various BIM tools. We have done that for 4 software packages for BIM tools. We cover IFC2 across 3 and IFC4, so the latest formats of the IFC format, which is used as an interface format. And it's available in metric and in imperial units. And it works with, as you have seen, with Revit, with Vectorworks, with Archicad, and Rhinoceros. We're currently working on kind of updating the tool a bit to the current development of these BIM tools. So there are new export features, obviously, and formats which we have to adapt. And then we would also like to address 1 or 2 more BIM tools, probably Nemetschek, not sure if others, but we hope that we will come to more connectivity here in the near future. Yeah, and then we come to designPH, the latest and newest tool, which was released by the Passive Institute, energy balancing on district level. So we want to talk about not only the building itself, but a whole group of buildings. and add renewable energy sources and consumers to the whole calculation. What's the objective? We want to calculate quickly a representative energy balance of a district and get more or less realistic results. We want to investigate the effects of different improvement renovation scenarios and also allow the optimization of the demand and the renewable supply. Whatever you could discuss for a district. Is it worth to plaster every roof with PV, for instance, or is it more reasonable to kind of insulate the buildings properly? This will be tried to, or we try to answer with this district pH. The outputs are the current, so the actual and future energy consumption of the district. So you can compare and see how this will be improved. Does it match or mismatch the renewable production? So can you cover the energy consumption of the district with its renewable sources? And or do you need extra energy like electricity from other districts? And then, of course, we would like to see how much energy is still to be used in or still required for the district. This is what can be done with district pH. You can enter a lot of things. I'll skip over that. You can see it mainly in this diagram, what is being imported into or has to be entered into district pH. So results, for instance, of a PHPP calculation can surely be entered. Otherwise, it's building typologies, which have known qualities. And then there's a whole lot of information that you can additionally add, like, for instance, the public consumers or the energy production on the buildings or in the district. And yeah, then you will get these results. It's still based on Excel, so you can do a lot of things with it as you are used from the PHPP. And it focuses a bit on refurbishment scenarios because this is this main challenge we have to tackle here in Europe, at least. Ideally, at the end of the calculation, you calculated probably several scenarios, several variants. You will receive something like such a graph, such a diagram, which covers a long period of time, say 50 years. But it shows you what you can do. In this case, if you follow scenario A, you follow the German legal requirements. And yeah, then you don't get down with the CO2 emissions that much. You can increase the refurbishment rate, and then you follow the gray line. So for the next decade, you're doing a lot, that is true. But then you're getting into this locked-in effect. You could, of course, then at some point of time ask for more severe retrofit measures. Then you will achieve an improvement that you can see here. But obviously, the best is scenario C. If you from scratch start with the economic optimum, so the energy quality, and then may not get down immediately because you don't have that many renovations. But by the end of a period of 50 years, you have the best results. This is what you could use to then consult a district, a municipality, what funding to employ, or what legal requirements to set up. In the end, this would be the total CO2 emissions for this district after 50 years. So this is what you can do with district pH. I'm coming to more tools. As you can see here, there's more. Some of you may have heard of them. Many are, or some are from Sinfonia, as was district pH, but then there's also the condensation tool, as you can see on the very top, or this lambda declare tool that you can use to come to, well, let's say declared lambda value from a rated lambda value from the declared information from the manufacturers all around the world, and the thermal bridge catalog. So these are things which more or less are available. There's also the ASAP tools, a project recently completed with some tools. And these will be provided soon. We're currently completing them, revising them a bit according to whatever layout requirements and so on. And some of these tools will also be implemented into PHPP. For instance, this room schedule or the progress tool. So this will be part of PHPP 10. There are also external tools I'd like to mention, like, for instance, PHPP Ribbon from the UK, warm low energy building tools, also very helpful, and tools like Meteor, Passive Link, or the ArchiCAD export. We currently have this in our iPHA blog. You can look at that and see this information with links. We didn't really check these tools, but they're available. So the responsibility is on the developers. We will kind of transfer all this to Passipedia, just as, and we will provide an overview over all these tools which we offer. As you can see here, we set up several categories for these tools. There are a lot of them out there, and we will make them available on Passipedia, some in the public section, some in the restricted iPHA section only. Yeah, we are also working on this and hope to be able to release this very soon, over the summer probably. And I think here I end with my presentation. As I completed or finished with Passipedia, this would be again Carl discussing or further telling you. Or is this me going on?
As you like.
As I like? No, go on.
So Passipedia is our knowledge resource platform. It is free and open to all iPHA members. So if you are not an iPHA member yet, please consider becoming one. And you can find it at passipedia.org. And there is a collection of all types of research and articles on different topics in the Passive House universe. So please check that out. There's also open articles, so you don't have to be an iPHA member to see everything. But for the more in-depth articles, you have to be. Okay. Jan, could you?
Oh, sorry for that.
No problem. Oh, and another announcement from the Passive House Institute. We will be having our conference in September 2021. It is going to be held in Wuppertal, Germany. But as the COVID situation still is not progressing as much as we all like, I'm sure, we will have it as a hybrid conference, meaning there will also be an online offers and lectures accompanying the in-person conference. So please have that in mind. And yeah. Next slide, please. Oh, okay. And here is once more our information. You can see Jan is easily reachable at phpp@passive. That's the German passive without an e at the end, .de. And you can visit all the following websites: passivhouse.com, Passipedia, and the iPHA website, Passive House International, to find out more. And once again, our email address, if you have questions and comments that were not answered in the question and answer session we're going to have right now, you can still send them and we will try to forward them to the presenters.